this is the track as it was sent to me. So it's like I mix this down. Then the processing for this is I've got. If we just cycle through from the beginning, the drums are actually split off into 10 channels. The kicks on 1 and 2, snares 3 and 4. So I'm actually subbing this out of the box and going through an SSL. And the bass is normally on 11 and 12. So what I can show you now is like I've got a subbing mixer. So I'm not actually mixing this out of the box, and I'm recording the track back in. So let's just go back over. So then that'll come in here on my sessions, and then I've got this mix here, Sigma Mix 1. Close that down. I'll record the track in, I'll do some mixbus processing. So all I've got here is the... So I've got a black box, which is like harmonic distortion unit, and I'm just kind of subtly adding a bit more overdrive and distortion onto it. Mixbus EQ, very, very broad EQ boosting 16K, and just kind of tiny bit off the end, and then I'm just using another EQ, and then I'm just using a limiter, and that there isn't much else to do it. I mean, I've got 2 limiters set up on the Mixbus, and I normally listen between the 2 and decide which one sounded better. And I think for this session, I think I actually end up going, well, let's just see what the Brainworks limiter does. But that was all then. So I record that back in. The first mix bus is the first track here. That's literally what the hardware unit is, recording the hardware unit. The next track here is then recording these plugins, and then this final track is the master. This is the track that I actually end up bouncing down and sending off to Dale and the band just to have a listen to, and then you make any adjustments or any changes. Once I've selected the track, I'm going to do Shift Command K, and I'll normally say, well, I'm going to put this into the same Dropbox folder that I did earlier on. So I've got Dale, I got Mix 1. I'll put it in there. So I've got an MP3, got the original sample rate, because I mentioned before, because I mixed on at 88.2, I send a high resolution sample rate. I actually send it in the format the session set up at. So it's 88.2 and 32-bit floats, and that just means there's no conversion going on. There's no like bit processing either. And it's just, if it's going to iTunes and Spotify, it just means that like there's been no additional conversion. They can use that. I think that's what Mastered for iTunes is normal. One of the points of Mastered for iTunes, not all of it, but it's one of the things that they look for. So I send that off, and then I ask Dale, okay, let me know if you've got any mix changes. Give me a shout. Give me a list of notes. And the only thing he actually came up with is, I think the drummer said, I think it sounds a bit better if the whole track's a couple of BPM faster. So let's go away to B side, let's go mix 2 faster. So the final thing then we had to do is, we were at 125. I'm just going to close that session down. And then we'll do a little Wayne's World switch. They're actually really happy with the overall mix of the session. So the final thing that we did is, because the drums are set to MIDI, they can actually change the tempo for that will change pretty easily. It was just, we had to change the track settings in Pro Tools from samples to basically make the audio tracks follow like MIDI tracks. And I'll just show you what we've done here. So we were 125, and they wanted to try going up to 133. So this is in Pro Tools. For audio tracks, they will usually, there's a setting here, which we've got ticks and samples. By default, this will usually be set to samples for audio tracks. MIDI tracks will always be ticks, and that just means if a tempo changes, the MIDI track will follow it. And it's, you know, it's like if you set up if you set up a click track, or if you set up some MIDI drums to play along to track. If you do any tempo changes in Pro Tools, the ticks will actually keep count with the session. So the first thing that you normally have to do to change track for audio is I'll normally select all. So I'll normally go into the track with this track window here, select all, and I'll hold down Shift and Option or Shift and Alt, and I'll change all these to ticks. Now in Pro Tools, the other thing I'd need to make sure is that all of the folders are open, because if they're not open, the tracks won't be selected, and that was one of the things that I fell apart. You know, not I fell apart from, but it's one of the things I missed out on. So then I just changed all these to ticks, and then the next thing to do is this little dialog window here is like a time stretch, the elastic audio settings. So I've normally just used polyphonic, and that will mean that it'll follow the track and it'll time stretch it. It'll just time stretch it to the new track, the new tempo track. So this is, so if we were 125 originally, if I go back to 125, this is, if you notice, the audio files here have changed slightly. The bars and beats have changed, but the time of the timeline, so the seconds, the time grid hasn't actually changed. So let's go 125, 133. So this is the original speed that you've been, how I've been mixing the track down at. And then let's go back to 133. This is the new tempo.
You can gouge away, stay all day if you want to.
So that is the only mix change I had to do. So then the other thing from there then was just do a new track at the bottom for gouge away, do mix to faster, and then record that back in with the processing, the mastering, and then just send that back over. And this is the final mix of the track.
Gouge away. You can gouge away, stay all day if you want to.
That is more or less the track. If you want to find this track, Feverjaw have it available on their Bandcamp page. I'll leave links in the comments below. Let me know what you think. If there are any questions, as I've mentioned already before, if there's anything that you don't understand, you want any further explanation, leave me a question in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. If you want to work with me, drop me an email. I've got my contact form on the comment section or in the about section. And thanks again very much for watching, and I'll see you guys all again very soon. Cheers, guys.